You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake.
Folks, welcome to the Before Hours podcast, internet radio phenomenon hosted by an occasional morning person. I ask the most interesting people I know about their sleep, their routine, life, love, stress, setbacks, and whatever else comes to mind. If you want to talk to us, you may do so in one of two ways. Email the Before Hours podcast at gmail.com or slide into my DMs on Instagram at Bobby Sheehan LOL. It's LOL because you know I bring the laughter, but for now, we're going to have comedian, fellow podcaster, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, a good man, Michael Goodman. How you doing, Michael?
Well, you added man to the end of my name again. It's Michael Good.
Did I really do that? We were just talking off mic. You're like, people that don't know me that well, which doesn't include you, Bobby, since we're friends. And I was like, Michael Good. But you know what? I fucked myself up. But A, that was in my head. And B, I said he's a good man. So man was in my brain too.
Dude, I'm just blown away. I mean, I'm sure everybody comments this, how you word for word have the introduction speech to you. Like, I would just edit that in later, but you just have it so like prepared.
I like memorizing things, dude. I love hip hop. I'm a big stan, as you could tell by my t-shirt for those watching at home, because I'm wearing a Marshall Mathers LP t-shirt, his magnum opus in my humble opinion. But I love memorizing things. I love memorizing speeches, hip hop songs.
Dude, I do practice hip. It is really funny when I hear like a sick fucking bar and I'm like, all right, let me word for word. It's like then I can play it with my friends and rap along with it. Be like, oh, you don't know this one? And they just be like, bam, 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 bam. Like, damn, he's with it.
He's with it, dude. And that's all you want is for black people to think that you're with it.
Yeah.
I would love to be with it. Okay, so do you have a rap song that you have memorized? Or what's a bar that's been going through your head lately?
Dude, this guy named, you know who Infamous is? He's this giant fat black dude.
Okay.
Who's like just hardcore, like just like face tats, like gets after it.
Yeah.
He has this one line. It goes, "People gonna hate me when I say this, but white lives matter, because who gonna patronize the trap like a strung out cracker? Fiend be fucking with your boy like a Catholic pastor." And he's like Ghost Glock in the Ghost, Danny Phantom, and Casper. I was like, dude, it's just so much like in one thing. I was like,
that rules.
Yeah.
That's such a great line.
Because for a second
dude.
I was like, is this a conservative? And I'm like, oh no, he's saying because the white crackheads, like they're serving it up. So yeah, I was like, damn, but there's just so much in like one. I love when it's just so much in one. I'm like, he's referencing Danny Phantom. He's referencing the Catholic Church, and he's like making a weird where you think it's going to be like an alt-right thing, but he's just talking about like selling crack.
I love that, dude. That's so good. And the Casper reference at the end.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what a Ghost Glock is, but it's not. Oh, you know what it is? Probably one with a silencer on it.
Yeah, I think so. Or it's unregistered. Two white people.
What is a Ghost Glock? Dude, I had to look at what fish scale was the other day.
What is a fish scale?
It's apparently Coke that's like so, because I was listening to some Gucci Mane, and it's like Coke that's so pure, it's like glistens like the scales of a fish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. Dude, Gucci Mane rules. He has this lyric that I think about all the time. It's in Bitch I Might Be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes in. It's called Bitch I Might Be algorithm. Huh? Yeah. As in female dog I might be. It's not a bad word.
Yeah, you should be good. You say female dog, then you
female dog I might be. So he says he meets this girl at a club and she says to him, "I ain't never ate a pill and never ate a bitch." And he goes, "You a liar, but I ain't gonna get upset right now." And I love that. In Gucci Mane's world, if he meets a woman and she's like, "I'm not a lesbian and I don't do drugs," he's like, "Okay, Gucci Mane, stay calm."
Yeah.
This isn't where she's clearly lying.
Yeah.
All women like to kiss other women and take drugs.
Yeah.
But she says she doesn't, and I'm gonna be cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I also love how he got sober, but he's my favorite sober guy, because he's like, he's sober, but he still talks about selling drugs. He's like, no, I'm still serving, but I'm not, I don't do it myself. Like, he's like, I got my life together, but I'm still.
Which, if you pay attention to Biggie's 10 crack commandments, number 4, know you heard this before, never get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
He also has
initially from Scarface, though, right?
Yes, he took it from Scarface.
Yeah.
That's a thing that gangster rappers do that I think is very cool. Is they like adopt Nas is Escobar, right? And Big L is Corleone, and Notorious B.I.G. is Frank Wright. I would like that they name themselves after people that
wait. Definitely Frank Lloyd Wright, like the house guy.
Frank Wright?
Who's Frank Wright?
He's a gangster, or was a gangster.
I was thinking of the guy who made all the modern houses. Isn't that Franklin Lloyd Wright or something like that?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
A house?
He's the guy who made like the modern houses that look all like odd.
Oh, like he's like a architect?
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. That's definitely not the same person.
That would be odd for a gangster rapper.
Oh, yeah.
For his thing to be like, you might recognize me as a guy that made modern houses.
Yeah. But I like the idea of a gangster rapper who's doing such obscure references like that. He's like, I mix shit up like Frank Lloyd Wright, just like saying things that are like so just describing architecture and stuff like that.
I've been listening to Eminem's newest album, and when I say newest, it's still like 4 years ago.
Okay, well that is music to
music to be murdered by.
So that is the one thing I have a question for you, because I love old Eminem, but I really don't like post. What's the one with Rihanna and then onwards?
Oh, so Recovery.
Yeah, dude, this is so interesting because a lot of people who really like Eminem do like they only like either old Eminem or something like that. Like it's interesting to meet somebody who likes him all the way through.
I like him all across the board. I will say the first 3 albums, that's a moment in time that can't be captured again.
Yeah.
So those are, and I'm wearing the shirt for the Marshall Mathers LP, which is his magnum opus, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's his magnum opus because it was, first of all, it was a sophomore album, and it was just so incredible that he didn't suffer the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
He was just, because a lot of people, I remember there's an interview of Eminem on Stern in 99, like right after the Slim Shady LP, which was the first one he did with Dr. Dre. It was the first mainstream one. And someone called in to be like, this is the new Vanilla Ice. This is a one-hit wonder. And then so when the Marshall Mathers LP came out, and it was like, I would say like twice as good as the Slim Shady LP, and people were like,
and almost as good as Vanilla Ice.
And almost as good. I mean, Vanilla Ice is the GOAT. Come on. You know, I grabbed my 9, all I heard was shell. I don't know how anybody listened to that and thought it was real.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Dude, especially with the, I do love him though, is like, visually, I love the way Vanilla Ice looks. He's like a cube guy, you know, like a muscular dude who has like, almost like a cartoon. He's got like a Captain Planet like head.
He's kind of he looks like the Chad meme.
Yeah.
He like the wavy hair and the fucking strong, prominent jaw.
Yeah.
I think he would have. He's like Mark Wahlberg in the sense that like people were gonna give him money to like just for him to do something.
Yeah.
But it was like during this weird time where it was like you could actually be a rapper. But
then Mark Wahlberg was actually from the streets.
Dude, back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Dude. And the funny thing about Vanilla Ice is like if he was just like, if he was just himself, you know what I mean? If he wasn't like, you know, I grabbed my 9, all I heard was shell. Like if he was just like, yo, I'm from the suburbs or whatever his story is, people would have liked it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, people would have been on board, because I remember feeling as a little kid, because I loved hip hop and I wanted to be a rapper. And I'm sure people are at home snickering at the thought right now.
Yeah.
But my thing was like, all right, well, there's Eminem, but Eminem is like, you know, Trailer Park, crazy mom from Detroit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, suburban upstate New York. I'm like, that's, you know.
Yeah.
My parents are married and they have a real good marriage.
Must
you know
be
what
nice.
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get to that.
My dad was eaten by wolves when I was 4.
My God.
Yeah. And the way we grew up as a kid, it's like we had 1 jar of peanut butter that lasted us for 9 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you let your younger siblings eat the peanut butter and you just ate the glass that the jar came in.
I would eat the glass. I'd have to smash it and kind of like make it into like a thin kind of powder.
Well, you got to start a hip hop career, dude.
And then Christmas, want to know what my Christmas present was? Sprinkle. I got 1 sprinkle for Christmas.
1 sprinkle?
That was dinner. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But now you can afford a whole rainbow.
Yeah.
It's my way of calling you gay.
Yeah. No, none of that. My family, I grew up very, very fortunate. But I do want to do like another podcast and just do an hour of me making up the most complete bullshit about my life and be like, I don't know.
That would be great, dude. That would fucking, you know, rappers get to have an alter ego. Why can't podcasters have an alter ego?
Yeah, dude, just
right?
everyone I have a different story. Like Actually, I grew up in Colonial Williamsburg. My dad was a what do you call it? A blacksmith impersonator. Yeah.
A blacksmith impersonator. Oh, like for a museum type.
Yeah, he did blacksmith face. It's still a little different.
Yeah, I was a big hip hop fan, man, but I was like, there's no place for me as like a suburban white kid.
Dude,
you know
felt the same way.
And then fucking Mac Miller comes out. Mac Miller was like my age, and he's like, and the thing about me is I'm from the burbs, and people are like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, oh, you could literally. People just want to know if you could be authentic and make words rhyme. That's all. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it is like authenticity is like amazing. It's like that's why like the word I feel like the worst of comedy is when you see like a really hot guy and he's like, I don't even know how to talk to girls. Like, yeah, come on, yeah, you do.
But sometimes I will say, sometimes hot guys don't know how to talk to girls.
Right. But like you could tell in some way, you're like, all right, this guy's just trying to be like. He's like, I really would love a comic who could just get up there and just like, I get so much fucking pussy.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. It'd be like more than you will ever even know. Like you don't even get close to the amount of pussy I get. Like that's fun. Like to me, that is funny to be that authentic.
I saw that. I don't know if he's still around or if he still does it, but like there was a guy I used to see around mics that was like, you ever see someone so handsome and you're like, that's ridiculous. Like, it just makes you upset.
Totally. Yeah. That guy who's in that movie with Sydney Sweeney, the blonde dude, he's like, I don't know what his name is.
With the fucking squinty eyes and just like.
Yeah. He was in Top Gun Maverick too. He's just like this like. And I think it's only because he's with Sydney Sweeney that I'm like, he's probably a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's gotta be, dude.
Yeah.
The just world hypothesis where it's like, or the opposite, I guess, right? Yeah. But it's fucking I don't know. There was this guy like incredibly handsome, and he would kind of go that route. He'd be like, yeah, so like I'm a good looking guy, and we couldn't even be mad. We're like, you are.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when a rich kid is like, so I'm my dad's rich. It's like, props to you, dude. Like, of course. But he was like, yeah, so I'm like really handsome, and I like fuck these girls a lot. But yo, it doesn't help my depression be. And I'm like, oh, okay, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's depressed about, but I appreciate his honesty.
No, totally. I think I remember this guy. Was he also rich? Maybe I was thinking somebody else, but like, would he go to QED a lot, maybe?
I don't remember. I remember seeing him at Otto's Shrunken Head, which is a punk rock bar that I don't even think does comedy anymore, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, dude, those are fun. The fucking Jimmy Peoples mic, dude.
Oh, shout out to Jimmy Peoples, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still does it.
Yeah, I don't know. I loved the one thing about that place is like you'd walk in at like 2:00 and they'd like aggressively ID you, and you're like, who do you think at 2:00? Like kids are in school.
Yeah.
Like, what kid would use the fake ID to get into like an open mic or whatever?
And it's interesting the contrast too, because I'll go to some places and I'll look around. I'm like, you should be IDing some of these people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's kind of funny.
But yeah, I was in the same exact boat where like I grew up like. I wouldn't say like loaded, but like suburbs, like, you know, probably upper middle class. And it's weird to say class. I know it's like a financial bracket, but it's weird to be like, no. This is the class I am. And this is like it's a caste system.
I think I was middle class because my dad was he actually just retired, but he was a supermarket manager.
Oh, nice.
I mentioned that he was just retired because I realized I was saying it in the past tense, which may lead you to believe that he's dead. Yeah, he's very much alive, but he's retired now, which makes me feel fucking old.
Dude, I love trying to pin the pieces of somebody saying something like that. Like you ever talking to a girl on a date and she's like, yeah, so my dad would do this and do that. And you're like, so he's dead?
Are we going to get to do butt stuff?
Yeah. You're like, can't quite piece this together. Because like, yeah, I know. Well, one time we went here and you're like, okay, but do you still go to the beach with him?
Yeah. Dead dad is fine. Bad dad is a red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I met a girl. Oh, dude, I hugged with one girl who said she's sexually attracted to her dad. I'm like, why would you ever tell me that?
Yeah.
She's like, my dad. She's like, look, I'm crazy. She's like, my dad is hot. And I'm like, what?
Damn.
That's something I don't know. I was like, I like that I have said such revealing stuff that now she's comfortable enough to be like, I think my dad's hot. And I'm like, why the fuck?
You're like, sometimes I get nervous at parties. Yeah, she's like, I imagine my father's cock inside of me. You're like, you were too vulnerable. I wasn't that vulnerable. Yeah. First of all, I don't have a secret like that.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what you want me to say after that.
I can't reciprocate.
Yeah, because you can't be like, that is disgusting and you need to see therapy. So like, there's no response, but I can't be like, what does he look like? Let me get it. I think she said he's hot. She said, which is different than saying I want to fuck my dad, I guess.
Yeah, but it's still not enough. Like, A, you don't have to bring it up at all. B, you could say like,
my friends say my dad's hot.
My friends say my dad's hot, or even I recognize that my dad, though I am not attracted to him, of course, is conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Did you ask to see a picture of his dad?
His dad?
Her dad. I made you. It would, honestly, Michael, it would do great for our numbers if you were gay on the podcast.
Her dad. His dad.
So what did their dad look like? Was he hot?
No, I didn't see any pictures, but
I would have asked to see a picture and then been like, oh, fuck.
Can we print this out, cut holes in it, put a string on it, and make a mask of your dad while I have sex with you?
Yeah. You know what's great is that you look exactly like your dad.
Yeah.
That is trippy. To look like your parent of the opposite sex, because I look like my mom.
Dude, I was just talking about this. Is it gay? So, okay. If you have the same eyes as somebody of a different gender, then like, okay, let's say this smoking hot woman, right? Let's say she's 52, like a hot MILF lady, right? She has a son who's like 25. Some people have the exact same eyes as their mom. So can you be attracted, if you're attracted to her eyes and they're in his head now, are you now attracted to his eyes?
I think you have worse problems than is it gay? I think is it serial killer? If you imagine cutting out her eyes and putting it into her son's head, is that perverted in any way? No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I'm like, she has beautiful eyes. Her son has the exact same eyes. This sounds like a really specific scenario.
It's like if you have a buddy and he has like a sister or cousin, and hey, if you're my friend listening to this, I'm not talking about you, don't worry. But when you're like, oh, they kind of share similar features, and you're like, well, I like it. I like it on a girl.
Yeah. Well, that's why, dude. We had like a similar thing in high school. Like one of my friends, his sister would like hook up with some people, and they would look so similar, and everybody would be like, dude, I'm gonna change his name for this. Like, the whole time I was just thinking about Billy. Yeah, how she kind of acts like Billy. And they're like, I just could not get excited because I was like, you're kind of like Billy.
So I don't have any siblings. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have a younger sister and an older brother.
Okay, so controversial question: if someone fucks your sister, do you care at all?
No. Okay, so like my thing is, I'm such a fucking lunatic that like I do my podcast. I talk very openly about having sex with people and stuff like that. So then the second my sister does anything, I get really uncomfortable. But I'm like, I can't say fucking shit. I'm like, I can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because like when I was her age, I like banged a transgender lady who had a vagina, and I found out years later. It's a whole story. Ooh. But and then she's like talking about like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I can't, you know what I mean? Like I can't.
Yeah.
But I think if one of my friends did it would be kind of different.
That's a party foul.
Yeah, that is. But then I'm like, I don't know the other. I think I'm the same way. I'm pretty good about like, I don't think I could have sex with any of my friends' sisters. But then I had multiple friends have sex with multiple friends' sisters.
Yeah, well, I always think of like Scarface, you know, where he's like, don't fuck my sister. And then he kills that guy. And then he's like, I was actually just about to propose.
Yeah, that
and
is
he's like,
different.
Oh, okay.
But how are you going to get to propose to my sister if you don't fuck her first? I mean, in theory, it's like there's no... I mean, this is really fucked up, but I don't want you to like marry my sister, then you guys aren't sexually compatible. That is fucking... This is the most disgusting thing I've said into a microphone.
Dude. And I took the leap by asking it, but I'm like, you brought up the dad fucking thing, so let's...
Yeah.
But because I can't key into it because I don't have siblings.
But it's funny.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah. You do get very uncomfortable hearing about any... Like, it like drives me... Like, I'm really comfortable talking about most things, and then my sister, it just gets like... It just hits a nerve where you're like... But I still know, like, I'm going to talk about anything.
Well, because to me, like, I've met, like, girlfriends at the time. Like, I've met their dad, and I'm like, part of this is a little weird. Because it's like, obviously, we're committed, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I like your daughter, and it's not, you know, it's not like I had a one-night stand with your daughter, but nice to meet you. I am fucking your daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. You're like, nice to meet you. I'm having sex with your daughter. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard, too, because, like, yeah, my ex, like there'd be things where like her dad or stepdad would like bring something up I would just like disagree with. And I'm like, I guess I agree with this now. I can't, what am I going to start arguing with this guy? I have sex with his daughter. Like there's nothing I could fucking.
There's no, the mic's not picking that up, is it, Maxim?
Somebody's drilling in the wall.
Yeah, there's construction going on, but I think, well, you know what? Because we're always doing work here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I remember one time my girlfriend at the time, her dad would like to make jokes. so he would make a joke and I would laugh, but it wasn't like the laugh he thought the joke deserved.
Oh, really?
It was such an uncomfortable. He'd be like, well, yeah, tell that to the office. I don't know. Say the punchline of the joke is like, tell that to the office. And I'd be like, and he'd look at me like, get it? And I'm like, I did. That was what the laugh was. I don't know what to do. And it was this thing too, because I'm like a comedian. So, but I wanted to tell him, I'm like, hey man, I don't know what it's like to be a doctor. You know what I mean? Like we just have different skills.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is the hard part. It's like, I was never funny in front of my ex's like parents or family. And she's like, he's never funny around me. Like, what? Yeah, my humor is like, you're gonna think it's disgusting. And it's like, I can't be open with you guys at all. Yeah. And they're like, and I think maybe they would have liked me more. Like they found out that when I was like 14, I did shrooms and told on myself. And apparently they started like respecting me. Like they thought I was like a dweeb, but I was just like, well, yeah, I'm around you guys. And I'm immediately gonna be like, hello, very nice to meet you. It's like, I'm not just gonna start like being my authentic self. It's like, that's a hard thing to do when so much is on the line. Like the stakes are so high. It's like, I don't want you to like disown me. But then one time her stepdad was like, he was showing off his boat. He's like, tell you what, you get like a real job and this is the kind of thing you can afford. And I was like, fuck, dude, it hurts so bad. Just be like, I guess you do not approve of me.
Yeah. Either that or he's just like mildly roasting you and you took it too personally.
Oh, dude, it's like struck me. I was like,
That's a weird thing about doing comedy is fucking people will be like, well, this guy, you kind of got like roast this guy. And I'm like, because they're not good at it either. So they just end up saying something hurtful and you're like, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's absolutely. Yeah. She would say it to my girlfriend all the time or ex-girlfriend. She'd be like, oh yeah, he's a comedian. She's like, her mom would be like, he's really not funny. Like
Yikes.
he's never.
Dude. And you're like, all right, here's my bit about jerking off in the park.
Yeah. Just go in. They're like, what? I'm like, one time before I met your daughter, I fucked a transgender lady, right? I was 19. She had a vagina. I didn't know. She was it was a penis turned into a vagina. Ooh. But, and they're just like, please never see our daughter again.
Now, is it as good as homemade?
It's better because, so she was like 49 years old.
Okay.
Vagina was not though.
Yeah.
They don't match it up with the face. That'd be so rude. They're like, ma'am. Come on,
can I have a nice new one? They're like, no, we made it so it looks like you had 3 children.
Yeah. We spray it with a leaf blower to age it. But no, it was like very tight, and I fucked her ass cheeks too, which no operation was done on that. But she was like super tight, and she was like a cougar, and that's what we used like lube, so like everything like lined up in a way that I was like, oh, this is like what having sex with a cougar is like. And then I started working in a call center, and I was friends with like a transgender woman there, and then I was like, your mannerisms are very similar to this woman I had sex with, and that's where I sort of like matched, like sort of like yeah.
Oh, so you were very comfortable with your coworker.
What do you mean?
No,
I didn't say this to her, but in my head I was Yeah,
I guess that would be an unhinged, unless you became very good friends.
That would be so. Is it a call center too?
Yeah.
I was just like, Michael, nice to meet you. She goes, oh, I'm Kathy. I'm transgender. I go, I guess I had sex with a transgender lady. Immediately, I'm like, I guess this is how I found out.
So did you ever get confirmation?
Yes. Okay. So what happened was like, so we had sex and like incredibly tight, especially for like, and it was funny too, because it was like 2015. I was like 19 years old.
But your mind was older.
Yes. I was reading at a 25-year-old level.
Ooh.
Yeah, I threw the Magic School Bus, or not Magic School Bus, Magic Treehouse books. Threw them in the trash. Moving on. Sorry, I'm very hungover right now. But what happened was like, it was like in my mind, it crossed my mind for a second. But you're like, nah, that was like, because in 2015, it was like Caitlyn Jenner was like the only transgender person that was like that in the discussion. So like in your mind, you're like, oh, that's interesting that Caitlyn Jenner is doing that over there. But you're like, that's not. And I remember the woman had like kind of a shitty house. And I was like, I don't know. I assume like bottom surgery would be so expensive.
Yeah.
And then there were like little things too, where like she sent me a picture of her vagina before and was like, I was like, I kind of like Bush. And she's like, oh, I don't grow any hair because I'm Native American. I was like, of course. I was just trying to look like I was culturally like aware. I was like, yes. I know Native American women don't grow hair in their vaginas. I was aware of that this whole time.
We all know they have bald pussies and they cry when there's litter involved.
Exactly. Yes. That's yeah. And then what happened was we had sex and like I bragged to my whole fraternity about it, showed pictures of the woman and everybody's like, Michael Good hooked up with a cougar. Yeah, that was like my reputation for like years. And then I hooked up with a different cougar, and I was like, that's where some pieces came together. I was like, that like confident energy was not.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I was like, that was a different energy. I was like, interesting. And that's when it's like pieces weren't there yet, but I was like, that's interesting that they had different behaviors. And then even though they're two different people, but I was like, I don't know, there's something totally different about that. And then I was like 2 years into a relationship, and that's when I started working in the call center. And I was like, And then I found
the wheels are turning, and the guy on the other end of the phone is like, sir, so you were telling me about this product? And you're like, not now. I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of my brain right now. And and then what happened was I reached out to her on Facebook, and I was like, are you transgender by chance? Just straight up asked. And she goes, well, technically I've been a woman my whole life, but ... And the joke I do on stage is I'm like, I respect that, but I don't think my buddies are going to see it that way. But she was super cool. She's like, yeah, make jokes about it, do whatever. She's like, you can bring me on stage, stuff like that.
Hold on. That's wild. If you did that bit and you're like, and she's here tonight.
Yeah. But everybody would be like hindsight biased. They'd be like, how'd you not know? And I'm like, But no, yeah, she was super cool. And it's funny too, because I think if I wasn't in comedy, I mean, I would have been so like, comedy's so cool in the sense it makes you very open and vulnerable. And you're like, because like, look, it's like as progressive everybody is, it's like, it is confusing for you when you're a straight person and you've had sex, like unknowingly had sex with trans. Like there's a moment where you're like, you're like, this is interesting. Like what your brain starts to be like, what does this mean about my sexuality? But, and as no matter how progressive you are, that is going to like make you kind of think about things a little bit. And then, what was it? I think that was all of what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, but she was like super cool about it and super nice. Yeah.
Did you love her?
Just a tear goes down my eyes.
My friend Joe would have wanted me to ask you that, so I asked you.
Yeah. I mean, she was fucking cool. There was some weird stuff involved. Like, she was talking about her like ex-husband, and then she named like a pillow after her dead ex-husband, and was like, Jonah's gonna sleep between us. And I was just like, okay.
Yikes! That's that's upsetting.
Oh yeah, dude. But nothing's as funny as is there a forerunner? I think I go to a different story.
No, please tell me.
So last night I went to go see. I did not have sex with an old lady, but I attempted to.
That's such a great start to a
story. Well, last night I did not have sex with an old lady.
So, but you tried to.
Yeah. So what happened was we went to see my buddy's band or his girlfriend's band. And this old lady, like giant boobs, wearing a cross necklace. And it was so sexy. It was like diamonds going up and then diamonds that went down. It was like a chain. It was like chains that went like this. So like her boobs are just like being like almost like an H.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the Hurley symbol from back when I think it's still probably a brand. But at first I was joking with my friends. I'm like, wouldn't this be like funny? And like we're kind of joking around, and then I'm like, I have like a couple drinks, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna try to have sex with that lady. And it was cool because like she's very like touchy. We're like grinding, and it's so funny too because in my mind I'm like, I hope I'm not ruining this thing, because like my buddy's like videotaping his girlfriend singing, and then the camera goes to me just grinding on this like above 60-year-old woman for sure.
Hell yeah.
And then dude, it's so cool because she's talking about like Elvis and like how she's seen Elvis live, how she went to like Woodstock, how we need to stop immigrants from coming in. It was randomly just get super conservative, which is fucking hilarious. And then my favorite shit is she's talking about this like guy she's talking to and how she got ghosted by him. And she's like, yeah, he ghosted me and went and talked to me for a couple days. And then I sent him a video of Biden, and of course he responded to that. I like that, like you, as like an old guy, you could be like, I'm not talking to this woman. You're like, I'm not. And then she sends you a picture of Biden being like old, and she's like, I can't not.
I can't. Sleepy Joe's involved. I can't stay radio silent on this one. Okay.
Yeah, but I did have my favorite zinger because she started randomly just talking about she'd never fucked a black guy before. Okay. And no, she wasn't like, I would never do it. But she's like, no, I've just like never had sex with a black man before. And later on, she was talking about how her son's in the NBA. And I was like, I thought you said you never fucked a black guy before. And then everybody was like, oh, and I was like, the best that in moment pop where it's just like, even because like she's like, it's nice to get a multi-generational laugh where like there's young people laughing and the old lady. And I'm like, yes, okay, we hit all the things. But we went into Uber back to her place, and that's where I thought, I was like, okay, things are on. And she's like my head's like on her tits, and she's like just playing with my hair, just like talking about all kinds of stuff. And I thought I was for sure gonna get laid.
Yeah.
And then what was it, dude? She said the fucking craziest shit. She what was she? She was so racist, but like not trying to be. The Uber driver was from Africa, and she's like, "Oh, so like, are you married?" And he's like, "Yeah." She goes, "So were you married by like a medicine man?" And I'm just like, that is so insane. And like not trying to like,
not as
dead
a bit.
serious. She's like, what? And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then, but I got her, I got her phone number, and then I dropped her off at like her place. And then she's like, I got like a long day ahead of me tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, it's past 4 o'clock. I know you should have been asleep hours ago.
Yeah. Past her bedtime.
Yeah. And I was like, she was for like, I would guess probably 70 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it just didn't, because it's interesting. I would have thought Uber back to her place.
So did I, but I was also listening to, she definitely wasn't like too, for a second I was like, I can't tell if she's like drunk or a crazy old lady.
Yeah.
So I was there, that line was kind of blurred, and I asked her a bunch of like, hey, you're not like super drunk? She's like, no. She's like, I'm fucking fine. And then, so like, I think either way, I'm glad like it didn't end up happening. But I think I got her phone number. I mean, I'll absolutely try to have sex with her.
Hell yeah, dude.
But I don't know how that works like now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Does she have text?
Yeah. Dude,
talk to text?
The funniest was I gave her my phone to put her contact in, and she could not see it at all.
That's
like,
hilarious.
My text is like so small for her. She's like,
I love because you're looking at her tits.
Yeah.
You're fucking touching a little bit. And then fucking that has to, you're like, whatever, like age is just a number, right? You know? And then she's fucking doing this shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah, it was insane. Like, I was like, oh yeah. And it was the funniest fucking part too was like, dude, it was like, in my mind, I was like, this is so interesting to talk to somebody, like, because like, look, I've talked to like old ladies, I've talked to my grandma, but that's not somebody I'm having sex with. No. So like, you don't get to like hear all these kind of crazy details about life and like about dating when you're 70, how she's like getting ghosted by a guy. It's like crazy,
dude.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Would you be willing to do a devil's threesome with me?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I did one last weekend, dude.
First time devil's threesome?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. So I did. Yeah, my life has been crazy. I got out of a long-term relationship and kind of went fucking full maniac mode. But what happened was, dude, I did. I was out at a bar. Have you done one?
No, neither kind.
Yeah, neither. Well, no, me neither. Well, I guess now I have. But it's weird that I have to now start. That's my ex-girlfriend's not my girlfriend. I now have had a devil's threesome. So I got to start speaking things in the present tense. But I was out at a bar and I did ketamine, which I hadn't done in like 4 years. And then I did ketamine, and then like 15 minutes later on Field, I get a message from this, or I matched with like a cute girl, and she's like, oh, it says like I have a boyfriend, but like looking for a threesome. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll go over there. And I messaged her, I was like, hey, I was like, hey, what's up? And she says, yeah, I want to come double team me with my boyfriend. And I was like, immediately. So like I'm immediately like on ketamine. Ever done ketamine?
No.
Just weird. Just like the weirdest drug. Like it's not really comparable to a lot of stuff unless you've taken way too much cough medicine. That's the only thing comparable to. But I'm going like over the bridge into Manhattan. I'm like, what is my fucking life? I think I sent a picture to my buddy. It's like a POV picture. And I'm like, just took a boner pill on ketamine, about to bang some girl with her boyfriend. The future is now, or something like that.
Yeah, dude.
And that super nice place. And the most normal, which I like that they weren't like, this is like, the Romans were all polyamorous. They're like, this is weird and whatever. And I'm like, thank you for understanding this is weird. And he was like yoked, like maybe like, looked like maybe like a nerdy Jewish guy that went to the gym a lot. Like probably wasn't cool in high school, but not cool, but like kind of on the edge of the cool kids, like not quite the. And then he joined like a Jewish fraternity in college, got like a little bit of confidence, but there's still like something a little insecure about him. Like very hot girlfriend.
I love that you want to the character in these threesomes. You like created this whole backstory for him.
Yeah.
It's very romantic.
Yeah. Like I want to. Yeah. And then like very like nothing wrong with Apple Watches, but like very like kind of just like There's something about a guy who has an Apple Watch that he has his schedule made. He's like very organized and stuff like that. Like this is, even though it was like 12 o'clock on like a Saturday night, he was like, yeah, threesome with my girlfriend and random guy from Field was like in the Google Calendar. And then, they were super nice. I started hooking up with her, and then it was very weird because like what fucking happened was that, Dude, I don't know. It was like he started giving instructions, and now it's when it was just very not fun. It was like a guy playing with his like action figures and Barbies and making them have sex. He's like, now you get on top of her and do this. And I'm like, are you telling me how to fuck your girlfriend? I was like, this is insane. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was funny too, because I'm having sex with her, and then they were both wearing socks the whole time, which I didn't bring up, but I was kind of like, should I be wearing socks? Like at some point I was like, you don't want to communicate too much. I'm like, should I put the socks back on? What are you? And I'm very like, when it comes to sex, I'm very much trying to make sure she has a good time, which is hard because he's like directing the whole thing.
Right.
And then I'm having sex with her, and I look over, and he is just like standing, just like jerking off. I can see his Apple Watch like glowing while he's just in his socks at like the side of the bed watching me have sex with his girlfriend.
I don't know why the glowing Apple Watch makes it so much worse.
It's so funny too, because it's like, yeah, it's just funny to have that on during sex. He's like checking, it's like, all right, 30 strokes per minute. Yeah. And yeah, no, and then she queefed a bunch, and then we all ended up laughing. It was because me and the guy were still kind of in the zone, but every time I have sex with the girl and she starts queefing, she starts laughing. It's like, I can't. And I'm like, I can't. I could keep going.
Yeah.
But we just stopped, and then I just like kind of awkwardly left.
Really?
And I thought I left my keys there, which was terrifying because I got locked out of my place. And the funny thing she said too, though, she's like, oh, the door guy for sure knows what's going on. I'm like, there is no way he knows that I'm going up here to have a threesome with you guys. He probably thinks I'm just meeting you guys or something. But yeah, no, I got locked out of my apartment, and I started freaking out because I was like, dude, if I got to go back there and get my fucking keys. And so I messaged them the next day, and she was like, oh, no, sorry, I couldn't find your keys. I guess the guy I had ketamine with, I gave him keys because we snorted off the keys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is because you said you're newly single, and the idea that the next day you were like, so are my keys with the ketamine dealer or my keys with the guy whose girlfriend I fucked? Dude, that's an incredible story.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet giving the directions is part of his kink.
Oh, for sure.
And I bet they didn't mention that to you.
Yeah.
Because there's probably this thing of like, okay, this is a straight guy, so he's open-minded enough to like fuck with another guy in the room, but we probably don't want to scare him with anything about like what I imagine the guy's at least bisexual.
No, he's straight, totally straight.
Really?
And, yeah. And the interesting thing was like, I emphasized that a lot going over. I was like, look, I'm fun, but I'm completely straight. Like, I'm not gonna, because I'm actually at the one couple one time, and this dude's like, and I'm like an average penis. I'm not like the bull that comes in. I'm like, I'm gonna show you how. I'm like, no, I'm just a regular. I just like, if he wasn't there, I would prefer that. But I'm like, I'll try something new to have sex with a lady. And, but I had one where there's this couple visiting, and they're like, I was like, hey, just a heads up, I'm straight. They're like, haha, okay, we'll have fun. And I was like, I got like no confirmation that her husband wasn't going to try to have sex with me. They're like, yeah, no, we'll open your mind. And I was like, I think my mind means my butthole in this situation. I was like, there's no way she's blowing you. And the guy's like, so socialism is actually a pretty good economic system if you think about it. Yeah.
And you're like, I'm open-minded.
Yeah. But
yoga is actually pretty fun. You're like, I'm listening.
Yeah, but it is a weird. It's a weird thing. But it isn't as weird as you'd think it is. Like I talked to some other people, and they're like, yeah, it's not as that. Him was the only weird part. Him like telling people what to do. I was like, it really is like you're like, oh yeah, I'm just having sex with a woman. Like there's another guy there, but you're like, it's not like. Yeah, I don't know.
See, to me, and I'm open-minded too, but I think sex with more than one person, even if it's just another person in the room, not like actively participating.
Well, then he did. We double teamed her. We did mouth and vagina and then switch off. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And you know what? Like, because I'm totally straight too. What a funny episode where we both say that multiple times.
And then I say the most borderline gay things.
Dude, it's well, New York, anywhere else in America, it's gay, aside from like New York, San Francisco, and maybe Austin.
Yeah.
Possibly Austin.
Yeah.
But dude, I think there would be I would be like a little trepidatious about it at first, but I think the moment we're like double teaming her, someone's at the mouth and someone's at the back, I think I'd be like, I'm having such a nice time with my bro right now.
Oh yeah.
I might even give him a quick high five.
Oh, I kind of wish we did. But it was funny because what happened was they were whispering or something like that. And then I felt kind of left out. I was like, you guys talking about me over? Like there's a moment where like I'm having sex with her from behind and she was blowing him, but then she starts whispering. Yeah. I thought they were saying I'm bad at sex, and I was like, I kind of ruined the mood completely by being like, I think communication is important during sex, but I'm like, is this good? Like I'm very much like, is this good? Did I do this correctly? Do you like more firm on the clit or soft on the clit? And Yeah, but I tell you what, I did not think my night was going to go that way when it started. It started with I hadn't gotten to a pregame in a while because like comedy, it's like if I go out drinking, I go out drinking like after shows, but I had no shows that night, and I was like, okay, I'll go on a little adventure. And the pregame was so fun because I was in my apartment with friends drinking, watching a orangutan documentary, and it was just us. I was like, I have not done this. Just been with the guys in the kitchen pretending to be orangutans. Like, dude. What if you like, we're like an orangutan having sex, like, ooh, and I'm like, it was just, I was like, that was a great, I remember leaving the pregame, I was like, if my night ended here, if I got hit by a car, I'd be like, that was a great night, just hanging out, goofing, pretending to be orangutans in the kitchen.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't have as hard of a time pretending to be an orangutan. I said it so the YouTube comments didn't have to. Yeah. They're still going to.
Yeah, they still will. Well, so I'm huge into primates. Orangutan, I thought for the longest time was called it because they're orange, like orange tan, but it actually stands for forest people. That's what it means in whatever. I don't know whatever language they speak in Indonesia, but
okay, interesting. Yeah. Orange, or forest people. I have to sneeze. It's coming. The sneeze is coming. Oh, I think I jinxed it.
But I almost bought a monkey.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So from. I hate to come on here and hijack.
No, please. Okay. Don't worry. We'll get into what you eat for breakfast. But I want to hear about threesomes and buying monkeys.
So I'm from Florida, and a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Exotic. Like my dad's from Miami, so like people do have exotic pets there. It's not like every other person, but a lot of it apparently is because of the like cocaine trade. So like they would literally bring in like cocaine behind tigers. Because like people aren't going to search the fucking cages and shit like that. And then like snakes, people will fill. Ever seen like a snake eat like a giant rat? Yeah. It's like they will fill snakes with cocaine and like bring them to Miami and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know what they do with the monkeys, but monkeys in Miami was like a huge thing. So like my grandma had a monkey when she was a kid because I think her dad helped build the Panama Canal and came back with like a monkey. So she had one when she was a kid. And then my dad was in he was like 10 and his neighbor, I guess, this is like the 70s in Miami. This woman had 2 monkeys and she bought a third. And I guess her husband said, if I come home and there's another monkey there, we're getting a divorce. He's like, I heard you bought a monkey while I was out of town. He's like, this is fucking insane.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Yeah. And my dad was like 10 and she's like, oh, do you want this monkey? And he was like, yeah, like without his parents' permission. So he got a monkey and his mom was like, no, I've dealt with this situation before because I had a monkey when I was a kid. She's like, we're not keeping that monkey. And she said it was so cute that they like kept it for like a year, but it would like, they said it was so mischievous. Like it would like go and like, it would like slap the neighbor's dog and like run up a tree. The neighbor had like a pit bull that it would just constantly provoke. And yeah, they just steal all the time. And it's like, one time, the best story I heard from him though is it would get on his bike too when it was parked with a kickstand and like try to drive it, which I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And apparently it wasn't supposed to be inside the house because it had like a backside like enclosure thing. And one time it was hiding behind the couch. It was when the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. And everybody went up and went, yeah. And it freaked out because I was getting yelled at. And it went into a tree for like 4 days and they couldn't get it down because it thought it was getting screamed at.
Oh, no. Yeah. It doesn't understand football.
No, yeah.
There's no way you could explain a football to a monkey.
Yeah, they're advanced, but not that advanced. Yeah. But anyways, I was a junior or senior in high school. And I was making like straight C's. And my parents, they were like, I was like halfway through the school year. They were like, we'll make you a bet. They're like, if you make straight A's, we'll pay for half of your car. Ooh. And I was like, what about instead you guys pay for half a monkey? And they yeah. Because I was like, I don't want every kid has a fucking car. I want a pet monkey. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, there's no way he's going to like make the grades. Mm-hmm. So like 100%. And I made the grades. And
you just needed some motivation.
Yeah. And I was like, what 100, dude? It's just me studying like geometry with like a picture of a monkey on a cork board. And I'm like, I'm going to.
You stopped monkeying around so you can monkey around.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So you get this.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
No, I never got to. Once again, I that's why I said I didn't have sex with the old lady. I got to start the story with putting people's hopes at the bottom.
Yeah.
But what happened was, my dad was so excited when I made the grades because he's like, we're doing this. And my mom's like, I was not serious. She's like, you're serious about this, Carson? He's like, yeah, we're getting a monkey. And to the point where it started like fights in my family. And my dad is such an honest man that like, I remember he's like, we're doing it. And I remember we were at a restaurant one time and my mom gets up, she goes, we're not getting a goddamn monkey. And dude, just everybody's just staring at her family like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And I remember being with my dad in the parking lot. He's like, we made you a promise, Michael. He's like, I'm not a man that breaks promises. And so she left town one time and we went to this woman's house who had 40 monkeys and 2 lemurs in her house in, I think, Coral Springs, Florida.
40 monkeys?
40 monkeys and 2 lemurs. 40 monkeys, yes.
Wow. Okay.
So I go and it's this German woman and very hot. And she's like, first off, you go in the house and it just smells like fucking shit. You're like, and it's a weird house. It's like a cul-de-sac. I don't know. Have you been to Florida? Like, have you been to like, there's lots of these like, I don't even know how you describe it. Just like, not cookie cutter houses, but like they're cookie cutter Spanish style houses. So it's like all kind of, I don't even know how you describe it, but we go into her house. It smells like fucking complete shit. She has a picture of like one of her dead monkeys, not like a dead picture, but like, it's like a monkey, like almost like a Christmas card of like your kid where it's like sitting up in like a chair like that. And then she's like, oh, he was like the best monkey. And it was the same monkey my dad had. He's like, that a woolly monkey? She goes, yeah, small woolly monkeys are the best. He was so adorable. I miss him so much. And then dude, she points to like her capuchin monkey. She goes, yeah, this one's a little bit of a celebrity. He was in a Pitbull music video. And I was like, no way. She's like, yeah, he was in Go Crazy. So, you know, he's not for sale. And I was like, okay. Yeah, it's fucking. And then I got bit like 5 times. Yeah, I was like, this sucks. The house smells like complete piss. She starts talking about it. She's like, yeah, it's basically like having a kid that can climb the walls and throw shit at you. And I was like, this sounds like a fucking nightmare. And the way she's describing raising it's so funny. She's like, you have to dominate the monkey. You have to say no, bad monkey. You have to tear the monkey. You show the monkey who's boss. And I'm like, this is. And I remember my brother describing to me, he's like, dude, look, this could go 2 ways. You could be the guy with the monkey or you could be that fucking guy with the monkey. And like this could go very, he's like, you probably gonna have to change where you go to college. You probably like, you know, all this stuff. And then I went to college and there was a kid with a fucking monkey there. Ooh. Yeah, this kid in this fraternity, dude, he had a monkey in a mesh backpack. So he had a mesh backpack he could breathe out of. And just during the day, because it's an owl monkey, so they're nocturnal. So during the day, it would like just curl up in a ball and like walk around with him. And then at night, it would like just go wild at the fraternity parties.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I remember I saw him one time. I was like, bro, is that an owl monkey? He goes, how the fuck do you know what this is? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about being a monkey guy. And
yeah. It wasn't for me.
But your friend saying like you could be a monkey guy or you could be a fucking because it's what you described, like that guy. He sounds very cool, but there's definitely a direction where you could be like, you know, the lizard guy,
the
snake
totally.
guy. Yeah. It's right on the board because it's like fluffy, like a dog, and like women like guys with dogs, right?
Yeah.
But like, monkey because
it's too much, and it's like, and the last thing I will say just before I forget, so at the end of my senior year, there's a kid that moved there from Canada who had a monkey, like another kid in my high. So that kid I just mentioned was in college. There's a kid in high school who had a monkey.
It's crazy that you know multiple people with monkeys.
Oh yeah. Well, these never I knew, but it was like a kid. He went to Bishop Moore High School. Just to show you, I'm not lying. He went to Bishop Moore High School, moved there from Canada.
Look it up.
And I remember one time my dad was like, I was grounded and he gave me a curfew. And he's like, Michael, you got to learn to not have this fear of missing out. You know, life is just, you know, some things you're not going to be there for. And I go on Snapchat and all my friends are with a monkey in a sweater dancing. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to not get mad about this? This looks like the best goddamn party I've seen in my life. There's literally a monkey in a sweater and they're dancing. Yeah. It was infuriating.
Dude, I think there's not a situation where adding a monkey doesn't make it cool.
Oh yeah, it's great, dude. Yeah,
like if it's a picture of you guys like playing video games, like okay, 2 guys playing video games, but if there's a third entity there holding a controller and it's a monkey,
oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I guess it would probably. I don't know if a woman wants to make love to a man with a monkey watching.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, probably just like, I could see it being one of those things where it gets super jealous and is like. Yeah, like you probably build a weird relationship with it. And I guess what happens with like the male monkeys is like they will often like they'll try to get dominance with the male of the house. So like you want to get like a female monkey, I've heard. And because like the male monkey will.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah. Strictly the only reason I would get a female monkey. There's no.
Dude, imagine having a dominance fucking battle with a monkey and losing.
Yeah. Your wife leaves you for the monkey. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just that Chim Chim actually listens to me. Chim Chim knows how to do the alphabet with his tongue. I'll tell you that much. Mostly because I give him treats afterwards.
He likes Lucky Charms.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh my God. So did you have any pets growing up besides, you never had a monkey?
No, I never had a monkey. No, we had a dog. It was cute. It's so funny because then I started talking about my dog and I'm like, well, there's nothing funny about it. I mean, like, there's nothing interesting. Like, just after talking about a monkey for even 3 minutes, I'm like, dogs are so much less interesting than monkeys.
Yeah, sorry, dogs.
Yeah,
sorry to all the dog moms and dads out there.
No, and when I had a dog sit like a month ago, and it is funny because like people are always like, oh, dogs are like, they're just like, it's like a person you can relate to. I feel so like, I think they're cute and all, but like I was going through a breakup and I still am, but I'm house sitting for something. This is like probably 3 months ago. And I'm like on the floor crying and the dog is like licking my face. And no part of me is like, oh, love. I'm like, this thing's just licking salt off my, like, this has no idea what's going on. Everybody's like, they can feel empathy. I'm like, no, the dog just saw like a source of salt and is like, I'm gonna go lick this thing now.
You're like, this is the worst day of my life. And the dog's like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah, this is awesome. Keep crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog cardiologist says that I'm not supposed to have salt, but I had a dog named Tara when I was little.
Name what?
Tara.
Tara, like tarot cards?
No, like Tara.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's just the name of a person too. Yeah.
Well, your guess is way better. But I love dogs with people names.
Oh yeah,
it's
like
so
Melvin
funny.
or something like that.
Melvin or George.
Yes.
Or Kyle. My dog Kyle.
Yeah.
I think that rules. But the reason my dog was named Tara is because my name is supposed to be Tara.
What?
So the what's the sonogram person? I don't know if it was their first day or something, but the sonogram person told my mom while she was pregnant with me that she was pregnant with a baby girl. My dad says it's because my penis was so small, which that doesn't even make sense because I was a fetus. Of course, all fetus penises are small, I assume.
Yeah, you speak for yourself, dude.
Yeah. No, dude, bro, I've always had a fucking hammer.
Yeah. I think it's gotten smaller since then.
Ooh,
yeah.
Interesting. Oh, so you peaked at 8 months.
I peaked in the 50. That's a great try. I peaked
in the womb.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, dude, it's like you can't really fuck up as a baby.
No,
right?
no. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you?
I'm sorry. Sometimes I randomly will just zone out and lose momentum on a bit that I'm trying to think of other riffs.
Yeah.
But I make it worse because I'm like, okay, think of something fucking hilarious to say right now.
You did have a look on your face where I'm like, he's going to tell me about a time when he was a fetus. Where is he going? But dude, the reason my dog was named Tara is because my mom picked out the name Tara. Well, she loved the name Sarah with an S, but then she married my dad, whose last name, of course, is Sheehan. So she didn't want me to have an alliterative name, I guess. So she's like, all right, my favorite name is Sarah. I'm going to do Tara. And then I was born. And my mom never had a daughter. So they got a dog and named it Tara.
Aww.
I think that's a great story.
Yeah.
They're like, we could have had a girl named Tara, but we had a dog named Tara instead. And she was a little mischievous. So she's on a farm now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She got sent to a farm pretty early. Apparently she used to bite people. And I used to bite people, but they didn't put me on a farm.
Yeah. It sounds like the dog specifically bit like a baby or something. We couldn't really ever train it well. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was just, I don't know if it was one of the, I don't know the backstory on Tara. I'll have to ask my parents about it, but
yeah,
I don't know. And I had a goldfish named Gilbert.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had one named, I think, Harrison. I gave it like
hell yeah, dude. Letting little kids name the pet is such a great idea because it's never something normal.
Oh, no. Well, and the thing is, just sort of while we're on the topic, but sort of off the top, my brain is all, I'm going to start over here, but I have no middle name.
Ooh.
And I've considered this. And so when I was a kid, my parents just procrastinated. There's no reason I don't have a middle name. My siblings have middle names. And they're like, when you're 18, you can just make a middle name. And I forgot about it. Now I'm 27 and I go, dude, I can do anything. So I've thought I'm legally going to change my middle name to Fart. And I'm like, just dead serious. Because every comic they're so obsessed with like monetizing their comedic voice, spending hours grinding, chopping up clips, posting clips, being on social media. I'm like, I like the idea of losing money and spending so much time and effort for a bit that does not benefit me in any way. I just think it's funny to change my middle name to Fart. And some people are like Farts. I'm like, that's too smart. It's so much dumber if it's just Michael Fart Good. Like me, I got to go to a fucking courthouse. I got to go to these meetings. I got to change my passport, all my driver's license. I got to go to the bank and tell them. Like, I'm excited. I love just doing this for me.
And it's grammatically incorrect.
Yes.
It should be either Farts. No, I guess Farts Good would. It should be Fartwell.
Yeah. Michael Fartwell. Oh, that's so good.
Fartwell sounds like it might be German.
Yeah. Michael Fartwell.
Yeah, like you're the husband of the monkey lady.
Yeah. Well, and it's like farts is kind of like you're like, but fart is funny because when I hear fart, I think it's one like, like it's just one fart. It's kind of like not supposed to be there. Like farts is like a plural, like, oh, you're just on the toilet. But like fart is just like.
You know what I'm thinking of too is that this is a great bit, and the best part of the bit you won't even be able to enjoy because it's going to be the fact that Michael Fart Good is on your tombstone.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I am like I was like, yeah, I'll do it for a month and then I'll probably change it back. And then I was like, no, dude. Like I was talking to a comic about this, and she's like, dude, how much fun kids would have at the graveyard just seeing you would make decades of kids laugh just by your middle name being Fart.
I bet no one would try to steal your identity either.
No, it would be funny if they're like, sir, there's already another Michael Fart.
And you're like, can you tell me where you live so we could become best friends?
Yeah.
So Michael, are you a morning person or a night person?
I am a night person. And I don't sleep in, but I think it's because I'm filled with anxiety. Which is why I also stay up late at night because it's like, Oh,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't sleep a lot?
No, I do, but it's like I don't have like good like it's like I don't know. I've gotten better at it, but I used to like my whole life I've had horrendous sleep. Part of it's because when I was a kid I was put on like Ritalin, which is like wild when your parents give you like Ritalin and a bedtime.
Yeah,
you're just like, do you want me to fall asleep or not?
Honey, smoke meth and then lay in bed for hours.
Yeah, I was like, have you ever tried concentrating on pure darkness? Yeah. I feel like a fucking wizard. So that's not, but like before that, I like horrible sleep my whole life. I still wake up because I don't sleep very well, but I would say I go to sleep like 2 most nights, 1:30 or 2. And then I wake up at like 9:30.
Oh, okay. So you get 7 hours.
Yeah. I get like, and that's kind of the perfect schedule for me is waking up at 9:30 and and then, was my whole morning routine?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
I think it depends. I will do this. I sometimes I will jerk off right in the morning because I have to get out of bed if there's cum on my stomach. So it's a great motivator. It's like if there's cum on my stomach, I'm like, I can't be laying in bed with this. So I'm like, okay, I have enough energy to masturbate, but not enough to get out of the bed.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll get me out of the door moving. I used to just I do caffeine pills instead of actual coffee.
Really?
Yes. And people get weird about this and they act like it's bad for you. And they were probably right. But I think I used to drink Celsiuses every single day, but those are like $4. And then a whole pack of caffeine pills is like $8 for like 40 of them. So I did the math. And I'm like, I've saved like $9 million. God bless you.
Thank you. I've been holding that in for a while.
Oh, well, thank you for sitting through my stories to hold the sneeze in.
Yeah.
But also like energy drinks are filled with like guarana and all these like weird others. So I'm like, it's probably pure to take straight caffeine. It's just, I'm such a drug guy, like in my, like at every level of my life that I'm like, well, it's the purest form of caffeine. Yeah. It's like, why is that a thing?
The idea that you're at a club and instead of taking ketamine that night, you're like, I'm going to pop a few caffeine pills.
Yeah.
So Papa can stay up past midnight.
Yeah. Ooh. And it's like, it's so funny because I don't do drugs anymore, but as a teenager, I did a lot of drugs, but like that mentality is still there. Like, I think I was talking to you about it, like, I chug water like it's like beer at like a fraternity. I just have that mechanism where I'm very much just like, bleh.
Oh, I have the same thing. Yeah, I'm drinking water right now. I drink water constantly.
Yeah.
My pee is clear, Michael.
That is the best feeling when you look at it and you're like, but then you're like, I could still have another glass.
Yeah.
I could reach full purity where it's just completely.
And there's not really like unless you're taking part in a fraternity hazing ritual where you're drinking a bunch and like not letting yourself pee, because people do legitimately die that way.
Oh yeah.
But if you just drink regular water, you're fine.
Oh yeah,
drink water all day.
What was that? The wonderful Burt Wonderstone. where it was a movie about a magician, and Steve Carell is like a classic magician where he's doing like, very classy magic. And the other guy who's rivaling with Jim Carrey's character, who's basically like a Chris Angel guy, who's just like, I'm going to put a knife through my leg. You're like, how is that magic? And he did something. Dude, one time Chris Angel just put hooks in his back and was like, this is magic. Like, that's not fucking magic. But the guy was like, how long can I hold my pee? That was like his like record. But it's a fictional movie. But that was like his thing. He's just trying to like beat the record of holding your piss.
Fuck, dude. Well, Michael, if people want to DM you, maybe tell you what their personal not peeing record is.
I would love that.
Then he would love that, guys. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Michael. Can you drop your socials for the folks?
Yes, please. MichaelGoodComedy. If you message me and say you heard me on this podcast, I'll follow you back.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unless you're like under the age of 18, then that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you say you heard me on this podcast, I'll follow you back. Or if you just want to follow me, don't want me to follow me back, then just follow me and I won't follow you back. But yeah, MichaelGoodComedy, Morning Good Podcast on YouTube. Yeah, appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Michael Fart Good.
Michael Fart Good. I think it's MichaelGoodComedy on Instagram too. But yeah, my middle name will be Fart pretty soon. I'm gonna get this in.
So it's not part of his Instagram, but it's how he would like to be addressed in person.
Yes, if you see me in person, say Michael Fart Good. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Michael. And remember, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just playing night owls. You know I love you.
Thank you.